Hello and welcome to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where we love to educate and inspire the community to live more healthily, feel more balanced and truly live a lifestyle they love. And today for our first guest we have Dr. Zara Chelik, integrative health and wellbeing expert. And once again she's back with us, this time talking about skin health, so caring for your skin. So Dr. Zara, over to you. Why is that important?
Yeah, sure. So skin is actually the biggest organ, right? And we want to make sure the skin is breathing and it is clean and it is functioning at its optimum level. So what do I mean by that? Skin has a huge role, not in terms of breathing and exchanging a part of the detox, but it is also a mirror reflection of how internal organs are doing and how they are functioning. So it gives us an insight in terms of what is also happening internally in terms of our health and well-being. Now today though, I'd like to talk more about taking care of our skin and how we can, by taking care of our skin, how we can also support our health and well-being and support also the detoxification system, because skin is very much involved with the detoxification system as well. So cleaning the skin and getting rid of dead skin cells, which can clog up our skin pores, is number one. That's where I will begin. Why? Because now, people know about, when we talk about caring for the skin, usually people think about the face, right? So I want people to know, let's go and think whole body when it comes to skin health. And when it comes to taking care of the skin, let's focus on, and something a lot of people don't usually do, is exfoliating and removing the dead skin cells. Because normally now in the modern life, we have the whole cleansing, the products going, which is amazing. But let's go also to ancient wisdom and ancient rituals and bring that to our rituals daily. So then that way we can take care of our skin holistically and optimize the health of the skin as well. And by optimizing the skin health, yes, skin is glowing, it is healthy, it is radiant, but it's also functioning and supporting our internal organs. Because as I said, skin is involved heavily in the detoxification system, because the skin pores help to flush out toxins through perspiration, through the sweating mechanism that the body does naturally, right? So it is then in that case important that we have a clean skin where the pores are not clogged up. And the best way to achieve that, I find, Linda, is through an ancient wisdom, a ritual. It's called Turkish hammam bath ritual. It is magnificent because it uses a special glove called kisa glove, which you put on, and it is usually after a steam session. There usually a nice ritual goes with that. But even at home, our viewers can do it after a bath or shower when the skin's nice and moist and it is warm, because that's when the skin cells are nice and warm, and moist rather. So then it's good to wear that glove and remove all that dead skin, and literally it comes off like a spaghetti, it rolls off. And that process allows the skin to breathe. All the skin pores are open, right? And the skin's able to breathe and detox efficiently at an optimum level. So that's a big one that I will actually encourage our viewers to get onto, these ancient wisdoms. Apart from the products that we apply, the whole moisturizers and everything else, then of course hydrate the skin, which is excellent. So a good hydration, both internal and external. So drinking enough water to hydrate our cells, drinking enough for our body shape and type, so all our cells are hydrated and looking more like grapes than sultanas. And then there's the hydration, of course, external. Toning is excellent. So rose water is my favorite. People can pick whatever they prefer, what they like. So using a nice toner to really tone the skin and hydrate the skin also externally. Then get on to, applying a nice product, either moisturizer or serum or body oil, to keep it hydrated and nourished. Because by doing that, we are really caring for the skin. We are also eliminating the dry skin, the flaky skin, and we have that luminous, glowing, beautiful skin. And also that whole glowing skin tells us the internals are also healthy as well. One other thing that I would like to tell our viewers though, when it comes to picking your products, try to go certified organic and try to pick products that has less ingredients. And if you find the ingredients are too much for you to understand, then maybe stay away from them. The reason I actually say that, because our cosmetic care products, personal care products, our shampoos can contain products, or ingredients rather, in the products that can go and affect our endocrine system. So endocrine system is like our hormonal system. We want to make sure that the ingredients in those products are not going against the function of the health and well-being, because there could be ingredients in those products that can actually create that xenoestrogenic effect and disrupt the endocrine health.
So, Zara, what would be the best advice for our viewers that you could give?
Absolutely. So I will encourage people to get on to drinking enough water to hydrate their cells. Now, what do I mean by that? That will be a question, I'm sure, and people want to know that. So for every 20 to 25 kilograms of body weight that we hold, we must drink a liter of water so we have sufficient hydration for our cells. So when the cells are hydrated, and that goes for the skin because that's also a cell, it looks plumped, it looks luscious, and it looks luminous and well hydrated, and it is glowing.
So would that be per day?
Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying? 20 for every 20 kilos, 1 litre?
That is correct. So for example, if you weigh around 60 kilograms, then there is 3 litres of water per day to keep your cells hydrated at all times. So that's a rule of thumb. The other thing will be, of course, getting into steam rooms. Private steam rooms are excellent, helping with the skin, moistening that dead skin cells and allowing the skin pores to open for detoxification and also cleansing of the skin and giving that glowing effect to the skin as well. Light therapies, they work extremely well and work with the integrity of the cellular function by energizing the cells, the mitochondria of the cells, and giving that luminous look, that glowing look, because it is working on repairing and healing the skin cells from within. So they will be the ones that I will actually give our viewers.
Thank you very much. And for more information on Dr. Zara Celik and caring for your skin, then please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And now we'll go to break, and after the break we'll be back with more amazing interviews. Welcome back. Now we have Robin O'Connell, our funeral celebrant, and talking to us today about supporting families through pregnancy and loss. Welcome, Robin.
Thank you.
And Robin, may I ask you, what led you to be interested in this subject?
So my daughter died 40 years ago. She was nearly 10 months old, and I found that people just didn't know what to do with me. They'd cross the street rather than talk to me. They'd avoid talking about her, or I'd become the supporting person and support them when I told them the bad news. So it led me to a path of grief education, and then finally a funeral celebrant 17 years ago.
Wow, that's an amazing story. And then, so what would be we hear the term stillbirth and miscarriage. What would be the correct term to use?
So it depends how far the gestation is. So under 20 weeks is classed as a miscarriage, and over 20 weeks is classed as a stillbirth. And the reason for that is that over 20 weeks the birth is registered. They can either go for a funeral or a burial or just have a direct cremation, but something must be done with the baby at that point in time. And there's lots of support out there. There's a foundation now that will help families that are in crisis, because we're not expecting a baby to die. So often families can be left unaware with that as well. So there is support around for families who have any sort of pregnancy loss. But I think one of the main things is that people don't know how to handle people when they've had a pregnancy loss. And we have that, what they call, that 12-week rule, where families are said, don't tell anyone till you're 3 months, and that way then, you don't kind of like if anything goes wrong. But in actual fact, those parents need support. If they've been longing for that baby and they're 2 months pregnant, they want to tell the world. And there's this big thing about, oh no, wait till 3 months because you never know what happens. 1 in 4 pregnancies in Australia ends. So it's common. And when people have experienced it and they start telling people about it, they suddenly find that there are all these other people who've had that experience but never said anything. They've never shared that experience because it wasn't talked about. And we need to start the conversation. And lots of people are trying to do that. You might have noticed on October the 15th this year and in a few previous years, there are pink and blue things that go up on buildings. So in different states, there were different buildings all over Australia that were lit up in pink and blue for Pregnancy Infant Loss Day, which is an international day. For people to feel free that even if they're only 6 weeks pregnant, that they can share that joy with others, even if it doesn't go right. Because at least then they're acknowledged that, you know, people are reluctant to even say, oh, I actually had a miscarriage at 6 weeks, but, you know, it was only 6 weeks. But to them, that was a baby. I know a family who had 11 pregnancy losses, and every one of those pregnancies, no matter how soon, as soon as they got those 2 little lines, as soon as they got those lines, they wanted to shout it to the world because it's important to them that their babies are recognised.
Well, for both parents, I suppose, particularly women with the hormones racing, that's a loss no matter what goes on, and and then the men would be feeling it as supporters of the.
And I think that's where we let them down all the time because we always say, so how's the wife doing? And we don't say, how are you doing? How do you feel about this? It was your baby too. But they think because the wife is the one who is pregnant, that that's the one who's going to be feeling it more. And two people decide to have a baby. And it's really important that dads are recognised as well.
And I suppose for in same-sex marriages, it plays out as well. There's the other partner is still feeling that.
Yes, yes, and it's, you know, people don't go off and say, oh, I think I'll have a baby and I'll go home and tell my husband tomorrow. You know, they talk about it, they plan, they have dreams, they have hopes for that baby, and those dreams and hopes are shattered. So we need to do more as a society to be able to say, you know, it's okay to talk about it. You know, if you know the day that the baby was born, you know, remember it, put it in your diary for next year. Give the person a call and say, hey, how are you doing today? I know today was the day that Noah was born. You know, it's real, those little things mean so much. And often we're thinking them. You know, so I met up with a family member who I hadn't seen for many, many years. And she put her hand on me and she said, you know, I think of you every 7th of August, which would have been Rebecca's birthday. And I thought, that's fantastic, but I would have loved to have known that you did that. I only found out like 20 years later that every year she thinks of her. And that would have meant so much to me.
Oh, absolutely. So then, what would you say is a take-home message for our viewers to know how they can support others?
Oh, the most important thing is you are not alone. And I think that's the hardest part, is that isolation of thinking you're so alone, it's only you, maybe 40 of your closest family that are affected by a pregnancy loss or an infant loss. And it's not a very broad spectrum of people. And people hear about it. That, you know, might mention it to somebody that you work with and they'll go, oh, that's sad. But it's a fleeting thought. And then they go on with their lives where your life has been irreversibly changed.
Those people don't know how to have the discussion, really, do they?
No, and we need to be more comfortable with having that discussion. We need to ask the questions of, you know, what were you looking forward to? What were the things that you wanted to happen? So they get a chance to voice them because they've been in their head.
And Robin, what would be some tips for our viewers from today?
Remember them at Christmas. So have a candle on the table, do something like that. Remember them on birthdays, give people a call. Just be able to be with them and let them talk and say, how do you feel? And then say, but how do you really feel? Because we will naturally say, I'm okay. But just ask how they really feel. And you might just be surprised at their answer. Don't worry if it brings tears. The tears were there anyway. All you've done is to help release them.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we'll go to break now, but before break, just for any more information on pregnancy and loss and supporting those people experiencing that, then please go to our website healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au, and there'll be more information on Robin. Welcome back. And next we have Kim Townsend, who's a lifestyle coach. Welcome, Kim.
Hi, Linda.
Now, you are here to talk to us about finding calm within chaos.
Exactly. So I suppose everybody's really familiar with chaos, either the external chaos or the internal chaos. And I find it's really important to know how to find the calm for your health and for just finding solutions. So imagine an emergency situation where ambulance were required. If they didn't know how to be calm, their lives would be lost, and solutions wouldn't be found. So finding calm within internally and externally is really important. I suppose what I find is that so many people are living today in a place of stress, and stress is actually, it's a silent epidemic. It's an addiction, and it's slowly killing us. I mean, there's the stress of what you're doing right now, but what the body does over time, it creates all those chronic illnesses and is really debilitating. So it's really important to find calm.
And what would you say are some tips for actually finding calm within chaos?
So there's quite a few things, but the easiest thing is to learn how to use your breath. I mean, you hear people say, just calm down, take 10 deep breaths. It's not an old wives' tale, it is a fact of living. So you find the calm in the breath, just deep breath in, deep breath out, and you'll find it's calming. So that's the simple, straight up solution to finding calm right at that moment. But for a bigger picture of calm and having calm throughout your life, there's things like what I call the SOS, simplifying, organising and systemising things. There's also what I call connectication, which is about learning how to communicate, to have connection so you can create your support team. And that helps you to find the calm, because you learn to express things and release any of the tension that is within yourself.
So I guess that incorporates you have loads of other tips, don't you? You have loads of other simple things people can do to simplify. Yeah,
so there's understanding what the triggers are, what does set you off, and learning to either eliminate those triggers or to minimise them, or figure out how to approach them. As soon as you feel that anxiety or that discomfort inside, do the deep breaths rather than waiting for it to explode. So finding a bit of time between a situation, and instead of reacting, learning how to respond. So you're doing it mindfully and and consciously.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, though I guess that other thing is the breath work and the finding that relaxation, and simple things like that about that. Can people just incorporate that in their daily lives
Absolutely.
easily?
Meditation is really good. A lot of people sort of see meditation as a monk in a cave and sage and candles, or a hippie out in the paddock. But meditation can be incorporated into your daily lives in so many different ways. Just be walking down the street, instead of worrying about, I left something at home and the house is a mess, or I'm going to the busy office. Just breathe calmly and just focus on being present, being there in the moment, just enjoying the walk. So that is the simplest form of meditation. It doesn't have to be something you set aside for half an hour. You can do it anytime, anywhere. In the shower.
Oh, that's just
it's
fantastic.
Really simple.
Yeah. Thank you, Kim, for sharing that. And for more information on Kim or finding calm within your own chaos, then please go to our website. And for now, we'll say bye-bye until next week from us all here at Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle.